Tonight, the breaking news story that has captivated Louisiana for nearly 5 months has reached its dramatic conclusion. Derrick Groves, the last of 10 inmates who escaped from a New Orleans jail, is back in custody. His time on the run ended this afternoon, not in Louisiana, but hundreds of miles away in Atlanta, Georgia. The capture marks the end of a sprawling and intensive manhunt that involved multiple law enforcement agencies across state lines. Groves, a convicted double murderer, had managed to evade authorities since the audacious jailbreak in mid-May, prompting widespread concern and a determined effort to bring him to justice. The arrest was the result of a carefully coordinated operation. It began with a critical tip passed along to Crime Stoppers Greater New Orleans. That tip pointed investigators to a specific residence in southwest Atlanta. Acting on the lead, U.S. Marshals the Atlanta Police SWAT team surrounded the home. Officers deployed gas into the house multiple times with the help of a police dog found and apprehended the fugitive, bringing the 5-month search to a close without any serious injuries reported. Investigators discovered that Groves had gone to great lengths to remain hidden. He was found concealed within a narrow crawl space in the basement of the home. It was clear that he had fortified this small dark space, preparing for a long-term hideout. Authorities noted that he seemed prepared to hide for the long haul, suggesting he had no intention of surrendering peacefully. His capture was a testament to the persistence of law enforcement and the crucial role that tips from the public play in solving such high-profile cases. Now the legal process to return him to Louisiana can begin. With Groves in custody, he was promptly booked in Fulton County, Georgia, on charges of being a fugitive from justice. The next step involves his extradition back to Louisiana, where he will face a host of new charges directly related to the escape. These charges will be added to the multiple life sentences he was already serving for the murder of 2 men on Mardi Gras in 2018. The capture not only closes a dangerous chapter for the community, but also ensures that Groves will be held accountable for the jailbreak that embarrassed the Orleans Parish criminal justice system. For the community, Groves being in custody brings closure and restored safety. The presence of a convicted double murderer had created fear in New Orleans. His capture lets residents feel more secure, knowing all 10 are confined. The saga began on May 16 when Groves and 9 other inmates vanished from the Orleans Parish Justice Center. Their method of escape was as bold as it was primitive, exposing shocking vulnerabilities within the facility. The group managed to remove a toilet from the wall of a cell, creating an opening large enough to crawl through. From there, they navigated the inner workings of the jail's infrastructure to make their way outside. This brazen act was one of the largest jailbreaks in Louisiana's history, and immediately triggered a massive law enforcement response to track down the 10 men who were now on the loose. The escapees did not leave quietly. They left behind taunting messages scrawled on the wall of the cell. One message read, "To easy LOL," while another proclaimed, "We innocent." These messages added insult to injury, highlighting the inmates' contempt for the jail's security and their confidence in their plan. The discovery of these notes underscored the systemic failures that allowed such a breach to occur, turning the jailbreak into a major embarrassment for the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office and city officials who oversee the facility. The news of Derrick Groves' capture was met with a palpable sense of relief from both the public and law enforcement officials. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry quickly issued a public statement celebrating the end of the manhunt. He declared, "All 10 escapees, captured. You picked the wrong state." The governor thanked the agencies involved. He praised our incredible law enforcement officials who worked tirelessly to put each of these men back where they belong, behind bars. The statement reflected relief and a firm stance on crime. The capture ends a troubling chapter for Louisiana law enforcement. The coordinated effort involved local police, state authorities, federal marshals. The manhunt ended without further harm, a major achievement. But celebration is tempered by hard questions about jail security. Yet public trust in the jail is damaged. Official responses must be followed by concrete actions to rebuild that trust. Further investigation uncovered evidence of deliberate sabotage by the inmates themselves. The sliding cell doors were designed with long tracks that could be easily jammed. Inmates were reportedly stuffing these tracks with foreign objects, including Scrabble tiles and other small pieces of debris, to prevent the doors from locking properly. This systematic effort to compromise the jail's security was a known issue. Federal monitors, tasked with overseeing the jail as part of a federal consent decree, had repeatedly warned about these vulnerabilities in the months and even years prior to the escape. In a report from April 2024, just 1 month before the jailbreak, monitors highlighted the sheriff's office's failure to comply with key safety protocols. An audit of security check logs revealed a shocking discrepancy. The day shift guards were found to have performed only 15% of the required security checks they had documented, while the night shift had performed a mere 7%. This profound lack of supervision created an environment where inmates could plot and execute an escape with little fear of being discovered. At the heart of these failures was a severe staffing crisis. Sheriff Hudson has stated publicly that she was operating the jail with only 60% of the necessary staff. Federal monitors had also sounded the alarm on this issue, warning in their April report that the level of staffing is extremely insufficient to adequately supervise inmates and allow for the safe operation of the facility. They noted that most mandatory security posts were not being filled on a consistent basis. This combination of broken hardware, inmate sabotage, and a critical shortage of staff created the perfect storm for the May 16th escape. In the aftermath of the escape and the capture of all 10 inmates, the focus has squarely shifted to fixing the beleaguered Orleans Parish Justice Center. Sheriff Susan Hudson has successfully secured $15 million in new funding to begin a massive overhaul of the jail's security systems. This funding is a critical first step in addressing the long-neglected infrastructure issues that contributed to the breakout. Sheriff Hudson said the approval allows her office to move forward with critical safety and security improvements, signaling a new era of proactive measures to fortify the facility. The planned upgrades are extensive, designed to address the specific vulnerabilities exploited by the escapees. The funds will be used to upgrade the jail's locking systems, install additional layers of razor wire around the perimeter, and modernize the entire surveillance technology network. Sheriff Hudson wants to replace the old, easily jammed locks with new electromechanical terminals mounted on the outside of cell doors. They feature indicator lights that glow green when secure and red when open or jammed. Some progress has already been made since the jailbreak. The sheriff's office has renovated 2 housing pods within the jail, outfitting the cell doors with 60 upgraded surface-mounted locks and installing continuous external hinges. To complete the lock replacement for the remaining pods in the facility, an additional $3.6 million is still required, highlighting the financial scope of the challenge ahead.